what is the future of India's project in Afghanistan? Should we be pro-Taliban like China, Pakistan, Russia, as 85% of the area is under the Taliban now? Or should we still support Ashraf Ghani's government like the US? See, the Chinese want to make Afghanistan part of their sphere of influence, right? The Chinese are very interested in continually expanding their sphere of influence. And Afghanistan is a beautiful opportunity for them to do that. And therefore, they're partnering with the Taliban. They also want to extract various minerals and resources from Afghanistan. So that's the reason why they are partnering with the Taliban. The Chinese want to use Afghanistan as their strategic backyard. It will give them strategic depth. In a future war, in an imaginary future war with India or Kashmir, they would like to use Afghanistan as a recruiting ground for terrorists and cannon fodder, people who are expendable and who can be used as cannon fodder in a war with India. So that is the reason why the Pakistanis are very much interested in Afghanistan. The Taliban is a Pakistani creation. The terrorist Talibanis are Pakistanis. Even many of them are Afghans, but it is all administered from Pakistan. The bosses are in Pakistan, right? So the Taliban is a creature of Pakistan. So that's why the Pakistanis are supporting the Taliban. Russia also wants to expand its sphere of influence. If you recall, in the late 70s, early 80s, they invaded Afghanistan, and that did not work out very well. But they have always been interested in Afghanistan and in having some influence in Afghanistan as well. So the Russians regard the Central Asian region as their natural sphere of influence, and they want to expand it to some extent. They are right now in a quasi alliance with the Chinese, so they are also trying to further their interests in Afghanistan, and that's why they are supporting the Taliban. Now, what are India's interests? India's national interest lies in a stable neighborhood, right? India would like to have peace and stability on the northern borders, which means that India would like Tibet to be free, in which case it will be a very friendly country for India. India would also like the terrorist nation Pakistan to cease existing, and it should be replaced by smaller countries that are independent and friendly towards India. And India would like Afghanistan also to be peaceful, right? So this is India's objective. It should be India's objective if India has any sense. And therefore, there is no point in India supporting the Taliban in any manner whatsoever. It is an organization which is a terrorist organization. It is inimical to India. It regards India as the enemy. Recently, they killed some guy, some journalist, an Indian journalist. They killed him and mutilated his body because they discovered that he was Indian. The Taliban did that in Afghanistan. So, and that guy was a Muslim. So it tells you that despite him being a Muslim, they did that to him just because he was Indian. It shows the Taliban's hatred for India. It shows that in the future, in the long term, they could pose a threat to India in conjunction with the Chinese and the Pakistanis. And therefore, I see no point whatsoever in India supporting the Taliban in any way whatsoever. India's objective right now, Afghanistan seems to be very unfortunately, very sadly, at present, in the short term, it seems to be a lost case to some extent. I hope that whatever parts of Afghanistan are still free remain free. I really hope so. But as you said, the Taliban is in control of about 80 or 85% of the country. It will remain that way, it looks like, with the help of the Chinese and the Pakistanis. But India's long-term objective over the next 5 to 10 years should be to break up Pakistan peacefully and to ensure that the Taliban comes to an end, and to ensure that Afghanistan is peaceful again, stable again, and overall long-term prosperous again. And it has a proper government which actually represents the will of the Afghan people. If that were to happen, if India could engineer that, then India will have long-term peace and stability on the northern borders. So that has to be India's long-term objective. And therefore, there is no point being pro-Taliban. We have to be pro, like you said, Ashraf Ghani's government.